Greetings, demons, and welcome to Warhammer Weekly, episode 22. We have a lot to be getting into with actually quite a lot of really interesting topics. So, without further ado, we're going to get into my pickups for this week, and then into the topics.
Not the leader of a cult, RabbitWithAxe.
Okay, so starting out, of course, with the pickups for the week, I'll go through roughly in order, though I'm just going to get one thing out of the way. I did end up picking up a Citadel colour painting handle. I just dropped it. And, yeah, I know these aren't worth it. I know there's way better options out there. There's something about getting the actual Citadel colour line equipment that I just really enjoy. I have the Citadel colour drill, I have a bunch of the clippers, I always have the glue and stuff like. There's something about it I just kind of enjoy. I did get this from an FLGS. I did actually get, on top of the regular discount, another discount. But yeah, I picked it up because I wanted one. I've wanted one for a while. I saw it. I could get the discount. I got it. So don't judge me too much. But yeah, I've actually been using it for painting a Gene Stealer. But that's beside the point. What should I go over next? I guess we'll just go over. I got some bits. So we got some heads. These are wolf. Not wolf. What are they called? Space wolves. Yeah, space wolf heads. Which I actually got them because you may be able to see within there are some Terminator heads, just some regular old Terminator heads, and I needed some for my Leviathan box because I don't like helmetless heads, so I'm putting Terminator heads on all my Terminator captains, characters, whatever, and yeah, so they're gonna be very useful. Also, I got a new bundle box thing, which I haven't actually got yet. I don't have it now. Don't have it right now. It's coming sometime next week. But those heads are gonna be very useful for that. So wait and see on that one. I'll mention it again when I actually get that box. But I also got some 30k bits just because I got a really good deal on it. I think I paid like £4 total, and there's some beaky heads, some other nice various Space Marine heads, some nice weapon options, chainsaw attachments for guns, just some nice stuff in general. Like, honestly, for the price, you can't go wrong with this many little bits and bobs. But yeah, very, very nice. Definitely building Space Marines out of those. What should I go over next? Okay, so I got two random sprues, one of which is actually a Tyranid Prime. So obviously this is a model from the new Leviathan box. This has got a very, very quick, very dirty Xenophil highlight on it right now. I wanted another one of these because first I just wanted two in general, but also I wanted to make it kind of look like the vampire, like Batman pose. And I think I've kind of succeeded. I haven't changed it too much from the base pose. Obviously, the legs are the exact same. The general pose of the body is the same. It's just the wings and the head that I've changed. But, yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm looking forward to painting him. It's going to be the first Leviathan miniature I'm actually going to be painting, which is going to be very interesting. And along with that, I also picked up a Knight Arcanum. So I haven't actually taken this off the sprue yet. But, yeah, Knight Arcanum model. I'm not the biggest fan of Stormcast, but there's some models that I just look at and I go, you know what? I want to paint that. I want to get that model. So there we go, Knight Arcanum on the sprue. I got them from the same seller actually, which honestly, I was getting the Knight Arcanum and just happened to check the eBay seller to see what else they had. Saw they had the Tyranid Prime, was like, yes, I'll get it. It was a really good price. Both of these were, and yeah, just some nice models to add to the collection. Very nice. I am looking forward to painting that. I've got some other Stormcasts that I needed to paint, so I've actually been getting through those first. But yeah, very much looking forward to that. And then I also picked up a Zangor Shaman from AOS. Technically, I'm going to use it in 40k. I don't know what as yet because it doesn't have official rules for this model, but I can run it as other things. I might run it as a sorcerer or something. But yeah, a Zangor model on a little disc. I've actually magnetized it very poorly because I don't like this stand. Not a fan of it at all. I do want the option, so I'm going to be putting some green stuff just to hide it a little bit. But yeah, magnetized that just so that I can potentially put it on a different base if I want to. And yeah, I really do like this model. Zangors, I'm very mixed on. Obviously, the Zechian, so of course I like them somewhat. But yeah, this one I do quite like a lot. I'm looking forward to painting this one up at some point in the future. I have a lot of stuff to paint though first before I get to this. But yeah, just a very cool model. Very nice. I like the disc that it's on. And yeah, just in general, a very nice little pickup that I got. And then finally, for everything this week, which this is something that I've been waiting on for a while. I was actually thinking of getting these from the website, from the Warhammer store, GW store for a while, and I found them in my FLGS, the same place I got the Citadel Colour stand from. They had the Space Marine jump packs. I've been wanting these for so long. Not really for any specific unit. I don't really have a absolute need for them, but I really like them aesthetically, and I really just want to put them on something. I was waiting on Primaris for getting their jump packs or their jet packs or whatever. It's not happening. I've kind of accepted that at this point. So there we go. Picked up my my jump packs finally, and yeah, as I say, I don't know what unit I'm going to put these on. I do have quite a few, I guess tactical marines and stuff that I could put them on, but I don't know right now. But yeah, I have them, and that is everything that I've picked up this week. So yeah, quite a few upgrades and stuff like that, a few nice models, and generally just a lot of nice, cool stuff. But yeah, that's going to be it for the pickups, and now into the topics. So, starting off with our topics, I do have just something that I kind of want to ramble about for a little bit. So, this weekend we actually saw the pre-orders go live for Lionel Johnson, Boss Snickrot, and Commander Farsight, obviously the three Arcs of Omen characters that were, new for that series. And it shouldn't come as much of a surprise, but both Lionel Johnson and Farsight sold out pretty much instantly. Snickrot sold out in a few hours, and yeah, I didn't bother with any of them. I am very excited that they're now actually going to be readily available eventually, but I was not in a position to be pre-ordering them. I don't know. I love the Lionel Johnson model, but I have no intentions of playing Dark Angels, so there is no point in me having that model other than just to have it. And, I'm not good enough at painting to make that model good for just the sake of having that model. Obviously, I love my orcs, but Snickrot, I can wait on him. I can wait forever on him, honestly. I don't have an army. I don't have any intentions of having an army. So unless I get into kill team with the orcs, I'm probably not bothering with Snickrot. But Farsight, on the other hand, I probably am going to be getting Farsight as soon as I can. I really regret not getting him on pre-order. He looks so cool. I love that model. And yeah, I am kind of disappointed that I didn't end up picking him up. I think he's a little expensive, personally, compared to the regular battle suits from the Tau. He just seems a little overpriced, in my opinion. I don't know. I was looking, literally the day this came out, I was in a friendly local game store, and they had the regular battle suits, like the standard version of that same battle suit, and yeah, those are far better price. I think they're like £10-15 cheaper than Farsight is. And I understand Farsight is a brand new model, completely updated, new sculpt, not even really based on the old design, but yeah, still, I just wanted to kind of ramble a little bit because they sold out like instantly. I was actually, when they went live on pre-order, I was physically in a Warhammer store, so I could have just ordered them, on the kiosk there. As I say, I wasn't really that bothered. I ended up picking up, I picked up the Zangor, which you sort of start the video, but yeah, genuinely, like, I checked on my phone literally about 2 minutes before the pre-orders went live in the UK and Europe, and it was over an hour wait. It was just the queue system. I don't know. It's not ideal. And by as I say about 22, I managed to check, and yeah, Lionel Johnson and Farsight were just sold out. So yeah, that's my little ramble over. I just wanted to kind of talk about it because it's something of interest to me personally, and I think a lot of people feel the same sort of frustration with the fact that they are so difficult. Any pre-orders are so difficult to get unless you are like really lucky. As far as I can see, like not swords. Sorry, I'm looking at the sword and Lionel Johnson. The books actually didn't sell out at all. I think they are still actually available now as a recording. That may have changed by the time this video goes up, but yeah, like I'm actually really amazed that the books actually have managed to stay in stock, especially the special editions. As I say, I haven't checked them in a little while, but last I saw they were still available. So yeah, that's good. But yeah, pre-orders continue to be a mess. I'm looking forward to this upcoming weekend because we'll get into it, but we're going to get more pre-orders available, which is going to be really interesting. And obviously, Lionel Johnson and Snickrot and Farsight, they're all releasing next weekend, like fully. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing. I might end up picking one of them up in store physically because I will be. I go to Warhammer pretty much every Saturday, physically, like to go to the store. So I don't know, the chances are pretty good that I'm probably going to end up getting one of them, and it's probably going to be Farsight if they have them. I don't know. But, yeah, moving on. And we may as well bring up the whole battle situation report for the battle for Oghram. So, it's almost over. We're not actually far off at all. In fact, it's tomorrow, or depending on when this goes up, because I am recording this pretty late, this might actually be over by now. But, yeah, in any case, currently the Tyranids are winning 53% compared to 47% to the Space Marines. That's amazing. I was saying last time when Space Marines were just winning by 51%, I'm very, very, very much hoping that the Tyranids win, just so that we can have a win for the Necrons, for the Xenos. That's what I meant. I do that all the time, mixing up Tyranids and Necrons. But, yeah, right now, advantage Tyranids, and I think, we're not far off now. I'm really hoping that next week I get to say the Tyranids won, we got a reveal for the Tyranids and stuff, and just, I don't know, I'm really hoping for it. We don't know what's going to happen, really. We don't even know if this is really going to matter in terms of lore, but, yeah, if the Tyranids win, it proves that, first off, GW aren't, purposely making it so Space Marines always win things. They just, happen to be writing it that way. But yeah, otherwise, I'm very excited for that. I just wanted to do a little update on that because I did last week. And, yeah, hopefully next week I'll be able to report the Tyranids have won. So, yeah, I guess we'll jump back into this next week. And speaking of 10th edition and new 40k and all that great stuff, we got a bunch of rules updates already, a new FAQ released, and yeah, towering units are actually kind of fixed, so they no longer just straight up ignore cover, which is kind of cool. Mostly Eldari and the Munitorum stuff, so, knights and stuff, are being affected, but yeah, I haven't looked too much into it. As I say, the main thing that I took away from it was the fact that the towering rules were being slightly shifted to make them a little bit more fair. So, yeah, all being well, I think this game is probably in a really good position right now. 10th edition in general just is doing really well. I'm very excited to, I want to play more games. I've yet to play like a proper game really. So I'm hoping that I get to, experience it a little bit more. I've got a bunch of friends that have now got their 1,000-point armies built up. I have 2 ready, not painted unfortunately, but I do have 2 fully built. So might run Chaos, or might run the Space Marines, because yeah. But I've got CSM and I've got regular Space Marines both built up. I still haven't decided what rules I'm running my Space Marines because they're currently built as Raven Guard. I've started on. I think I mentioned this last week. I've started on my Death Guard again. Death Watch again. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, in any case, the rules looking great. I'm happy that they're already fixing some of the big issues. Hopefully they can fix some of the minor things, maybe make some of the factions a little bit more fair, should I say. But yeah, it's good to see that they are just keeping things updated. And I'm not necessarily a rules channel. I don't talk too much about the gameplay itself. But yeah, I'm gonna mention things that I think are important changes, or things that personally just interest me, like the towering units changing. Especially as someone who has a lot of friends that use knights. It's very important to me that towering was kind of fixed, so very cool. And yeah, that's it for our new 40k updates. And by that, I of course mean it's not the end of the actual new 40k stuff, that's just the updates to new 40k sort of thing. So we actually have the announcement of the starter sets for Warhammer 40,000 10th edition, and honestly, they look absolutely great. There's an introductory set which comes with the Flamers, the Tyrannid Termagants, and some paints, some clippers, some dice, a playing mat, the basics basically. A starter set which comes with the Terminators and what else is there? I cannot remember. You get the Tyrannid Prime, you get the Terminator Captain, and you get the Leapers and the giant spitting out Tyrannid thing that I can't remember the name of. Not Barbagon. Barbagon's the tiny things. But yeah, that one's a very cool one as well. That's called the starter set. And then there's the ultimate starter set. So this has everything from the Leviathan box, other than, I believe, the Lieutenant and... Oh, which Tyrannid unit is it? Oh, it's the big guy. Is it Hunter Killer? Is that what it's called? I think it's the Hunter Killer and the Lieutenant. They're the only things that are missing compared to the actual Leviathan box. And you also get terrain, which is really, really cool. They're calling it the equivalent of getting two not start collecting boxes. That's an old bit of thing. Battle, but what the 500 point mini game. You know what I mean. But yeah, so that's pretty cool and everything. I'm actually quite looking forward to that. We also have new paint sets. We've got one that is Termagants with a Ripper Swarm, 4 Termagants and a Ripper Swarm and some paints. We've got one that's Infernus Marines with paint, and we've got just a generic paint set that comes with clippers and a paintbrush and that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. It does make me laugh though. They are, because of how the sprues are set up, if you got the Leviathan box, if you want to play Ripper Swarms, you have to either get the introductory set, get the paint set, or some other random assortment of other sets, because you only get one Ripper Swarm per 10 Termagants, which is ridiculous to be fair, but it basically means you can only run them in squads of 3. So you need to get another Ripper Swarm from somewhere. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be getting them from eBay and stuff. But yeah, it's very much one of the things. I'm going to be getting the paint set for the Tyrannids, purely so I can run the Ripper Swarms, because I can't currently with my current turn setup. I just don't have enough Ripper Swarms. But yeah, hopefully that's all way better. But yeah, new starter sets, new paint sets. It's all great stuff. I'm really looking forward to actually getting my hands on some of these. I may well, even though I have Leviathan, I may well end up getting the ultimate starter set, just because that terrain is actually kind of cool. It's basic, I know, but I do quite like it. And getting duplicates of all these models, the only ones I don't really have a use for getting duplicates of are the Tyrannid Prime, the Captain in Terminator armor, and the Librarian in Terminator armor. Literally every other model, I'll take more of those. That's fine. The only reason I don't want another Tyrannid Prime is because I already own 2, as you saw at the start of the video. I bought another one because I like that model so much. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time in terms of these starter sets. But yeah, new 40k starter sets coming out. I'm actually really excited. I really do hope, and this is kind of stupid, I kind of hope that the old starter sets do get discounted in Warhammer stores, because both my local and my regular Warhammer stores have quite a few of the Necron Space Marine ones from 9th edition. I really hope they go on discount, because if they go on discount, I'm going to get some more Outriders. I already have too many Outriders. I think I have more than the legal limit of Outriders for 10th edition, but yeah, I'll always take more Outriders. I love those things. And if I can paint some up to be Death Watch, that'd be great as well. Just add to that army. But yeah, new starter sets, great to see them, and moving on. And speaking of starter sets, we actually have a brand new one for Warcry. So this has the Vampires versus the Stormcast, and it looks interesting. I'm not the biggest Warcry fan. I think I've made it clear that in terms of AOS, I like my Orcs, and that's really where it goes. I like Skaven and Seraphon, but I don't have plans for them. And, when it comes to Stormcast, my partner builds them. I've actually recently painted one, which I really do like. I might actually throw that at the end of the video, just a little show off of that model, because I really do like it. But when it comes to Stormcast and all the armies of the dead and stuff that are in the game, like I just really don't care that much. The models look great, don't get me wrong. The starter set is actually looking really good. We've actually seen all these models before. I covered them a few weeks ago, I think. But the terrain looks cool. Honestly, the terrain is probably the best selling point of this. The models all look nice, but I'm not sold on them, it's vampires and Stormcast. Like, I get it. I like them. They're just, I don't know. I don't think they're quite for me. I may end up picking up, just depending on the price. If it's around the price of, like, a start collecting box, not a start collecting box. I'm going to keep calling them that, but they're not called that. But if it's like, £85 to £95, I might think about it. I recently, you'll see this in a future video, so I won't go into too much detail, but I recently got a 40k game in a box, which has been discontinued for a very long time. I got it at a really good price, though, in my opinion. So I'll show that off in a future video, but yeah, I'm interested in these games in a box. Like, I really like the fact that I can play Leviathan as it is. Like, if I just build all my Space Marines and my Tyranids, I just have a box of a game. And it kind of goes the same for this Warcry set. I don't know. Warcry is probably, of all the AOS, like, mini games, side games, whatever, is the one I'm least interested in. I much prefer Underworlds. But, yeah, look, it looks good. I quite like the models in general. The terrain, I say, is for me the best part. But yeah, that's really all I can say about it. Warcry, new starter set, looks cool. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I really need to see the price before I can kind of say whether I'm that interested in it overall. And sticking in the world of fantasy Warhammer with some new Blood Bowl. We've actually got a new character, a new hero, new champion, whatever they call them. And it's an undead character, which is really, really nice to see. Ivan the Animal Death Shroud. So we've got just a new ghoul character. Looks pretty cool. He's got a grudge against dwarves, which is quite funny in my opinion. It looks pretty cool, honestly. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the undead aesthetic from fantasy and AOS and stuff, but, it looks alright. I quite like it. And honestly, if it wasn't for the helmet design being very, football-y, or American football-y specifically, or rugby, I guess, potentially. Rugby doesn't really have helmets. You know what I mean. If it wasn't for that helmet, I'd honestly say this guy could fit pretty well into any, fantasy era Warhammer game. Like, he doesn't scream football to me in the same way that most of the Blood Bowl models do, but yeah, overall seems pretty cool. Superstar, that's the term, not hero, whatever I was calling him, but yeah, a 1400-year-old grudge against the dwarves, which is very interesting. I like when stuff like that is brought in. Like, imagine having a grudge against dwarves. Like, that's so weird. Like, it's normally dwarves having the grudge, but yeah, in any case, very nice new Blood Bowl model, and there's not really much else to say. I like it. Not interested, though. It is resin. I will just point that out. It's a resin model, which, at this point with Blood Bowl champions, or superstars, or whatever they're called, it happens all the time. We have a lot of them in resin. Very few things that we've got recently from Blood Bowl are in plastic, which for me is a bit of an issue. For most people, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, still very nice. And moving into the mortal realms, last week I was either an idiot or the page didn't load. Or I honestly don't know what happened, but I discussed a little bit of the Cities of Sigmar, new collection, new army, and I missed a ton of models, an absolute ridiculous amount of models. So last week I covered the Alchemite Warforger, and that was just the surface. We have so many different models. So there's the Free Guild Steel Helms, which look very interesting. We've got a Banner Waver. It's a lot of the standard Cities of Sigmar units, I'd say. But yeah, they look cool. They've got the swords and the axes and the hammers with the shields. And I like the guy that's got, like, I don't even know what it is, like a sword hilt in a box. And then he's just got a big stick. He doesn't have a sword of his own or anything. He just has a big club, I guess. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, pretty neat little models. 3 Guild Steel Helms, very, very nice. We also have 3 Guild Cavaliers, which are horse riders. And these guys are actually pretty interesting. I do quite like the design on them. You've got the armored horses, which are really nice. I don't know what it is about. I don't love the Sigmar banner things that are on some of them. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it, just a bit gaudy. The fully helmeted guys are very cool. They all have very weird little things on top of their helmets, which I don't quite understand, but I'm sure that makes sense in like lore or something. But yeah, another banner waver and stuff. Just some very, very nice models. I'm looking forward to seeing these painted in person. I'm not interested at all in getting them myself, but I'm sure when some of my friends that are a bit more into Cities of Sigmar and stuff, get them and paint them, I'm sure they can look great. And that's part of the joy of it. Seeing your friends have really nice models and stuff. So yeah, very, very cool. And then we also have, I don't know what this thing is called because it doesn't say clearly. Yeah, I don't know. But we've got a giant lion with wings, with a scorpion tail. I think that's all the combinations there. But yeah, looks very, very interesting. I can't find where it is. Okay, so the rider is Talia Vedra, Lioness of the Parch, and she's riding Akshi's the Scorching Heart of Akshi's military. So I don't know what that thing is. I honestly, I'm looking through it now. I thought I knew all the model names, but I do not know what this thing is called. Yeah, well, anyway, the weird lion creature looks very interesting. I quite like the throne. It's got a lot of dead heads in it and stuff. It's kind of interesting. I do quite like that the rider Atalia has like the option for like a royal mace and stuff, and yeah, or an axe and stuff. Like, there's options here. I quite like them, but yeah, very, very interesting model here. So Infernodyne's Leonine Jaws. Oh, it's Infernodyne's potentially. Infernodyne. I think that's it. I think that's the name of the creature. But yeah, really nice mount. Looks really good, and that is actually everything from the Cities of Sigmar box release sort of thing. So we are actually going to be getting an army set as we typically do with most of the AOS armies and stuff, which is looking pretty cool. I say I'm looking forward to seeing them painted up in person. I'm just personally not really that interested in any of the models that much. I said last week the Alchemite Warforger looks cool. I'm kind of interested in seeing potential like conversions to chaos for him, but yeah, otherwise there's some nice models here. I do quite like them. I think the box is going to be very, very high quality in terms of its models, but yeah, overall, it's a Sigmar. I'm glad I finally managed to cover this because I can't believe I forgot or missed it or whatever last week. But yeah, moving on. And into what I personally think might actually be the biggest news of the week, and that is, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, a brand new epic Warhammer experience. We have Legions Imperialis, new epic 30k, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is under the Horus Heresy banner, and it's an epic scale, which, if you don't know what that is, it's mini scale. It's about, I want to say it's about a quarter the size of standard like 40k and 30k, and yeah, there's so much stuff here. There's actually 3 articles that I'm going to be paraphrasing, just because there's a lot of details in here that I think are worth reading if you're interested in epic scale 30k. But yeah, I'm just going to be talking about the key points from the 3 articles. So if you're wanting to hear everything there is to offer, link in the description to all 3 articles that I'm going to be talking about. But in any case, it's epic scale, which, as I say, is, I think it's like 8mm or something like that scale, which is considerably smaller than standard 40k or 30k. You actually can use your Aeronautica Imperialis and Adeptus Titanicus models if you have them, which is really cool. I actually have Orc Airwar Aeronautica Imperialis models, which I'm going to get into why that's not great news for me, but I'm a huge fan of that scale for certain models. I do actually really like Epic in general, and I'm really looking forward to building some interesting little armies out of Legions Imperialis. But yeah, the fact that both Aeronautica Imperialis and Adeptus Titanicus are compatible with this is great. I'm really looking forward to seeing what people do with that. And for how it's built, how the rules are, you have combined arms, so like all compatible models can be playable in any army through different detachments and stuff. So if you have your Astra or Auxilia, whatever it's called, the old Imperial army, if you have those, you can combine them with your Adeptus Astartes, you can combine them with your Knights, with your Titans. Just very, very cool stuff. I'm really looking forward to seeing the combinations people make. You know, there's so many tanks, there's so many dreadnoughts, different like vehicles and walkers and stuff, and of course the different Knights and Titans. It's all very cool to me. Something that I found really interesting, not only we're going to be getting new terrain features, but within the rules of the game, you can blow up buildings. So I don't know whether that's just going to be like a Titans thing, or whether that's going to be like tanks can blow them up, or even like, imagine like some Imperial Army troops or Imperial Navy or whatever, just like walking up and just like dropping a bomb next to a building and just collapsing it. That'd be really funny. I'd really enjoy to do that. I hope that's a thing that you can do. But yeah, you can blow up your terrain, which is really interesting. So the Marines are, as I say, about a quarter the size of a normal Horus Heresy Marine, which obviously are like slightly upscaled Firstborn. They're not as tall as Primaris, but they're not as short as original Firstborn. So yeah, like I think they're a pretty good size, honestly. These new epic scale models, like they're like small, but not so small that they don't have detail, which I really do like. And yeah, just in general, I am looking forward to them. However, something that, and I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, that I'm not so happy with, no Xenos and no Astra Militarum, which I can take or leave Astra Militarum. I don't really care too much, Auxilia, Solar, whatever it's called. The old Imperial Army is perfectly fine by me. Astra Militarum I don't really care too much for. But the lack of Xenos support, it's kind of disappointing, to say the least. Like, as I say, I have War from Aeronautica, and I love that. I love that aesthetic, and same with the Necrons from Aeronautica. I think their ship designs are great. It's just really, really disappointing that we're going to be, losing all those things. Like, in fact, all of the Xenos and Astra Militarum Aeronautica models are going on Last Chance to Buy, which is really stupid and really sad, because it means that Adeptus Titanicus and Aeronautica Imperialis are only going to continue to be supported when it comes to their 30k equivalents. So Adeptus Titanicus pretty much will continue to be supported as is, because, everything is in 30k from that game. But Aeronautica Imperialis will only have Imperial Navy and Adeptus Astartes continue to actually be updated, which is really annoying, because I really like the Xenos side of it, and there's a lot of really good stuff there, and it's just really annoying to see that all disappear. I'm glad that, those models aren't all going to be thrown away for Legions Imperialis, but it's still just kind of annoying. I don't know, I've been umming and ahhing about it. Like, I want to support Legions Imperialis because having proper 30k with all types of units is really cool to me. But the fact that I'm not going to be able to play as the Orcs or the Necrons, or even, like, the Tau have some really good ships. Like, even, I don't really like Eldari, but the Eldari stuff in Aeronautica is absolutely fantastic, honestly. And it's just kind of annoying that none of it's going to be playable. The one silver lining to all of this, though, everything that's new is going to be in plastic, or at least for the most part. I'm sure there's going to be some resin stuff eventually, and obviously anything from Titanicus that is in resin currently that doesn't get updated to plastic will remain resin. But yeah, just in general, I'm happy with that. I'm happy that they're mostly plastic kits. The biggest thing for me is the fact there's not going to be any Xenos representation, and I'm sure eventually they could add that, but the fact that they're, stopping the sale of the current Xenos epic scale stuff, it's annoying, to say the least. I'm hoping that this is just a temporary thing, and, you know, give it a year or so, they'll be like, oh yeah, we're actually doing Xenos stuff again. And it's, you know, hopefully not double the price, because I know how GW works. But, yeah, honestly, it looks really cool. I'm really looking forward to getting the Dreads, the Leviathan, and the, the other ones from 30k. I'm really looking forward to those. The tanks actually look really cool. I'm not a huge fan of tanks in general, but getting them in 30k scale is actually really cool. The Knights, obviously, the Titans as well. Like, all that stuff is really cool to me. I'm really excited, though, to paint the Space Marines. I just think that's really cool. There's also Terminators and stuff, which are going to be really nice to paint. But, yeah, there we go. That's Legions Imperialis. I'm very excited for this. My love for 30k has definitely been, like, revitalized by it, even if, you know, I've got my complaints. But, yeah, very, very cool. And I hope you guys enjoy talking about Legions Imperialis, because I'm going to be talking about it a hell of a lot more in the future. But, yeah, moving on. And staying in the same sort of area, we're still talking about Horus Heresy. It's Heresy Thursday, and it is actually still in epic scale, because we've got Direwolf Scout Titans coming in plastic. We obviously already have these in resin kits, and we're now getting them in plastic, which is really, really cool. I believe they are going to be getting some, or actually, I think they already have upgrade kits in resin that are going to stay available, which is nice. But, yeah, I really like these things. I'm not the biggest fan of the Wolf Titans in general. Like, they're not my favorite design. But, yeah, just having more plastic Titans in any scale is good by me. And, yeah, just getting the Direwolf Scout Titans, very, very nice. Very much looking forward to seeing these in person, like with most of these things. And, yeah, there's not really much to say about them. Like, a lot of the things that I've said about them already apply with everything I said about the rest of Epic 30k. I like them. I think they're cool. I'm looking forward to seeing if this leads to any changes with Adeptus Titanicus. I doubt it does, really, but yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. But yeah, very nice models, very cool. The upgrades and stuff are very nice, or rather, not upgrades, the options for different weapons and stuff are very nice. And yeah, overall, just some very, very cool models that I very well may think about picking up. I don't know if I will. As I say, it's not my favorite design for Knights, but yeah, still very, very cool. And yes, that's Heresy Thursday. As I say, like, we had so much the epic 30k stuff that, like, anything for, you know, Horus Heresy related was most likely going to be more epic. But yeah, very, very cool. And yeah, just more plastic kits. Love to see it. And that leaves us with the final topic for the week, the Rumour Engine for the 4th of July 2023. Happy Independence Day to those who celebrated it. And it's an arm with, like, a bolt and, like, a wrap around it. And honestly, the first thing I thought when I saw this was it looks like another Skaven unit. I don't know what makes me think that, really. It really reminds me of the big bulky boys from Skaven, and that's all I've got. It's a muscly arm with some wraps around it. It could be Catachan for all I know, but yeah, it looks interesting, whatever it is. I am going to put not money on, but, like, I'm very confident this is probably going to be Skaven. At the very least, I think it's going to be AOS, just due to the aesthetic of it. It's possible it could be, like, Drukhari, potentially. Drukhari have this kind of aesthetic sometimes, but yeah, I don't really know. It's an arm. It's got some stuff on it, and yeah, that's really all I can say about it. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new to it, and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. Otherwise, comment below what do you think of this video? Well, not video. What do you think of these topics this week? That's what I meant to say. I'm really excited for Epic 30k. If I haven't made that clear already. All the starter sets as well are really cool, and of course, hopefully Battle of Oghram actually goes well for the Tyranids. I want the Tyranids to win. You know, fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, otherwise it's gonna be it from me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Cultures of disease, but worlds divine. I just wanna take